With the new Waterfront South Theater, South Camden Theater Company's Joe Papsicki wants to help revitalize this once vibrant working-class Camden neighborhood. He explains his vision to fuel the rebirth of Waterfront South.
Well, the thing with theater and neighborhoods and redevelopment is that if we do the kind of plays that you can only see here, then if you want to see a play, you can't wait till it comes to Haddonfield or Cherry Hill or Philadelphia. You come to Camden to see it. So if you do a unique type, if you do unique work and people have to come to see you where you are, they're going to come here. This is how New Brunswick has rehabilitated itself. Hoboken always ended with the theater coming in, because then people come to an area, rebuild the area, and it helps with urban redevelopment.
Papsicki tells why the theater's location holds special significance for him.
Well, this is the site of my grandfather's bar that he had from the 1920s up until his death in 1967. And it is the setting of my first play, Last Rites, which we're opening the theater. So this corner has always been really special to me personally, and then also it's special because of the neighborhood Waterfront South.
He says more than 30 years later, the theater's lobby recreates architecturally the bar of his childhood memories.
These windows are the way they are because these are the original design of the bar windows. The guys for years came in through these doors, walked through here, the box office is back this way. Over here next to that window was my grandfather's bar. So we wanted this to really capture what the past was. We wanted you to come in and really feel the nostalgia way after Last Rites, any play, to come in and understand what this corner meant in the past.
Papsicki says Waterfront South Theater is opening with South Camden Theater Company's production of Last Rites, his play set at this location inspired by an earlier economic downturn in Camden.
Last Rites is my first play that I wrote. It's the play that made me a playwright. It is set where you're sitting right now in my grandfather's old bar in 1967. And the play is all about this neighborhood, the bar, the patrons, and it shows what happens when the shipyard, which was 4 blocks down the street at the time and during World War II employed 43,000 people at its height. When the shipyard left this neighborhood, the jobs left with it. The jobs leave, the people's, they had worked, a lot of them came in as apprentices. A lot of them didn't even have high school diplomas, and all of a sudden they're all thrown out into the street at the same time. There are no jobs. The neighborhood starts to decline. What this play shows you is through my grandparents' eyes who have this bar. The bar is the centerpiece for these guys. You get to see the fun of what Camden was pre-shipyard closing in 1967 in Act 1, and then you see what happens as Camden started to slip and slide, starting in the late 60s and then continued into the 70s. So this play is a play, I call it a play of misplaced faith. It's people putting their faith in their jobs and in their bosses.
He says the play's themes are relevant to the lessons being learned today.
This play shows really that we haven't gone as far as I think we hoped and that we thought we had gone, because we're right back in the same situation.
Giving back to the city he loves and kids with dreams like his is part of why he's focused on creating a theater in the Waterfront South neighborhood.
When we do children's theater, it's going to be maybe different from the way some other people do. I want only Camden kids on stage. If you have adults, fine. We'll have some adult actors, but any children's role will always be filled by a kid from this city who wants to come and act. But not only that. I want kids to shadow the adult actors. I want a kid to shadow the director, and not just the day of. I mean the whole process. A kid to shadow me, to learn how to produce. A kid to shadow the light tech, the sound tech. And then what we're going to be able to do is to really let kids be actively involved in this. And then if they get the bug, you're giving them all this opportunity to go, wow, that was cool. I never knew what directing a play was. Well, now you do. So now maybe that's something that they want to do going forward.
After opening with Last Rites, Papsicki says his South Camden Theater Company will present a season filled with great works.
We're doing The Old Settler, which is a beautiful play by John Henry Redwood. And this play was done by us 2 years ago, and one of our actresses unfortunately got ill and we could only do a 2-week production. So we're doing it for a full run following this play. After that, we're doing Waiting for Lefty, the Clifford Odets play, which is always one of my favorites. It's always one of my dream plays to put on stage. I'll be directing that starting in February. And then we're following with my thank you to Father Michael Doyle for everything he's done. We're doing Moon for the Misbegotten. We're both O'Neill freaks, and I always promised him an O'Neill play, and I couldn't think of a better time to do it than this spring.
In the meantime, Last Rites christens the new Waterfront South Theater beginning September 10th through October 3rd. At the Waterfront South Theater in Camden, New Jersey, I'm Jim Hilgen for Stage Magazine.